Today we're talking about something a lot of people avoid, but shouldn't. 10 signs you're in money trouble. If you spot any of these in your life, it's time to take action now, before things get worse. Ignoring those flashing red lights can lead you down a path you don't want to go. So grab a pen and paper, get ready to take some notes, and stick around until the end because you do not want to miss this. Let's kick things off with a big one. You're living paycheck to paycheck. If you're waiting for payday just to survive, that's a big red flag. It means there's no cushion for emergencies. It's a reality for many, and it can feel like a never-ending cycle. If your income is just enough to cover your monthly expenses, and you're left with little to nothing by the end of the month, you're in a dangerous cycle. It means you're not able to save or plan for unexpected events. It also means you're one unexpected expense, one job loss, one broken-down car away from complete financial disaster. The stress of knowing that any small hiccup can derail your finances is overwhelming. So how do you break free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle? Well, it starts with a budget. Start by tracking your income and expenses for a month. Write down every penny you earn and every penny you spend. This will give you a clear picture of your financial habits. Look for areas where you can cut back. Are there subscriptions you don't use? Can you switch to a cheaper grocery store or buy in bulk? Can you pack your lunch a few days a week instead of eating out? Small changes like these can add up to significant savings over time. Can you find a cheaper cell phone plan? Sometimes a simple phone call to your provider can result in a better deal. Once you've freed up some cash, start attacking your debt. Focus on paying off high-interest debts first, and then move on to the smaller ones. The less money you're sending to those credit card companies, the more you have to put towards your savings in your future. Building an emergency fund can provide a safety net for those unexpected expenses. With a little discipline, a little effort, and a whole lot of gazelle intensity, you can break the cycle and start building a solid financial foundation. Remember, every small step you take brings you closer to financial freedom. Number 2, you rely on credit cards to cover essentials. Using credit cards for groceries, gas, or utilities can be a slippery slope. If you're not paying them off in full each month, interest is stacking up. This means you're spending money you don't have. Relying on credit to survive day-to-day expenses signals you don't have enough cash flow to cover basic needs. Credit cards can be a useful tool when used responsibly, offering convenience and even rewards. But when you're relying on them to cover essential expenses like groceries, gas, or even your rent, it's a sign of financial trouble. You're playing a dangerous game that can lead to financial stress and anxiety. High interest rates can turn a small balance into a mountain of debt faster than you can say minimum payment. These rates can be as high as 20% or more, making it difficult to pay off the balance. So how do you break free from the plastic prison? It starts with a commitment to change. First, stop using your credit cards for anything other than emergencies. This will help you avoid accumulating more debt. Next, create a realistic budget that includes your essential expenses and stick to it. A budget helps you see where your money is going and where you can cut back. This means making tough choices and prioritizing your spending. It might be difficult at first, but it's necessary for financial health. If you're already drowning in credit card debt, don't despair. There are steps you can take to regain control. The most important thing is to take action and start digging your way out of debt, one step at a time. Every small step you take brings you closer to financial freedom. Number 3, you've stopped saving altogether. If your savings account is collecting dust, or worse, if you don't have one, you're setting yourself up for failure when unexpected expenses hit. When saving money becomes impossible, it's a sign that your finances are stretched too thin. Whether you used to save and had to stop, or you've never built the habit, not setting aside money leaves you vulnerable to financial emergencies, unexpected bills, or even future goals like retirement. I get it, life is expensive. But let me tell you, if you're not saving, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Saving isn't just about planning for retirement, it's about having a financial cushion to fall back on when life throws you a curveball. Even if you can only spare $20 a week, that's $1,040 a year. The key is to start small and make saving a habit. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to a dedicated savings account. Remember, every dollar you save is a dollar working for you, not against you. So start small, be consistent, and watch your savings grow. Number 4, you ignore or delay paying bills. Late fees are no joke. If you can't pay bills on time or you're skipping them altogether, that's a massive sign you're in financial trouble. If you're letting bills pile up or skipping payments, it's not just bad for your credit score, making it harder to get loans, rent an apartment, or even secure a job in the future. It also shows you don't have enough income to meet your obligations. Late fees and interest will only make the problem worse, and unpaid bills can lead to services being cut off, like electricity or internet. Ignoring your bills might feel good in the moment, but trust me, it's only going to make things worse in the long run. Late fees and penalties can quickly turn a small debt into a financial nightmare. So, how do you break the cycle of bill avoidance? First, face your fears and gather all of your bills in one place. Next, create a bill payment system that works for you. This could involve setting up automatic payments, using a budgeting app, or simply marking due dates on a calendar. Number 5, your debt keeps growing. Whether it's credit card debt, loans, or personal borrowing, if you owe more now than you did 6 months ago, it's a problem. Debt is often unavoidable, but if it's growing faster than you can pay it down, that's a major issue. When you're only making minimum payments or borrowing more to cover old debt, it becomes a vicious cycle. The deeper you go, the harder it is to climb out. Debt can be a slippery slope, one that many people find themselves on without even realizing it. If your debt is growing faster than your income, it's a sure sign that you're headed for financial trouble. This can lead to a cycle of stress and anxiety that affects every aspect of your life. So how do you know if you have a debt problem? There are several warning signs to watch out for. If you're only making minimum payments on your credit cards, it means you're not making a dent in the principal amount. If you're using debt to cover everyday expenses like groceries or utility bills, it's a red flag. Or if you're constantly borrowing money from friends and family, it's a clear indication that your finances are out of control. It's time to face the music and take control of your financial situation. The first step to tackling debt is to acknowledge the problem and commit to change. This requires a mindset shift and a willingness to take action. Then prioritize your debts from highest interest rate to lowest. This strategy helps you save money on interest payments in the long run. Start attacking them with a vengeance. Every extra dollar you can put towards your debt will help you get out of the hole faster. Consider the debt snowball method, where you focus on paying off your smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate. This can give you a sense of momentum and motivation as you start to see progress. Small victories can lead to big changes. As you pay off each debt, you'll feel a sense of relief and accomplishment. This positive reinforcement can keep you motivated to continue your journey to financial freedom. Number 6, you have no emergency fund. If a $500 emergency would ruin your month, you're skating on thin ice financially. An emergency fund is crucial for handling life's surprises, car repairs, medical expenses, or job loss. If you don't have at least a few months' worth of expenses saved, a single unexpected event can push you into deeper financial trouble, forcing you to borrow or rely on credit. If you don't have an emergency fund, you are making a big mistake. Life is full of surprises, and unfortunately, not all of them are good. That's why having an emergency fund is absolutely crucial. An emergency fund is your financial safety net, protecting you from unexpected expenses. Without an emergency fund, you're forced to rely on credit cards, take out high-interest loans, or even worse, dip into your retirement savings, derailing your financial progress and putting your future at risk. But even if you can only spare $10 or $20 a week, it's a start. The goal is to build an emergency fund that covers 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Start small, be consistent, and celebrate your progress along the way. And remember, your emergency fund is for true emergencies only. Number 7, you're constantly stressed about money. If you lose sleep over finances, or you feel anxiety every time you check your bank account, that's a signal something's seriously off. If money is a constant source of anxiety, whether it's paying bills, handling debt, or simply checking your account balance, it's a sign that your financial situation isn't stable. This stress can affect other areas of your life, like your health, relationships, and job performance. It keeps you up at night, it strains your relationships, and it can even impact your physical health. If you're constantly worried about money, it's time to take a step back and address the root cause of your stress. The first step to overcoming financial stress is to acknowledge that it's a problem. Talk to your spouse, a trusted friend, or a financial advisor about what you're going through. Next, identify the source of your stress. Creating a budget, tracking your spending, and setting financial goals can help you gain a sense of control over your money and reduce stress. The more you understand about your finances, the less intimidating they become. Number 8. You don't know where your money goes. If you can't explain how your paycheck disappears in just a few days, it's time to track every penny. If you're surprised at how fast your money disappears after payday, or you can't account for what you spent by the end of the month, you're not in control of your finances. This usually happens when you're not tracking spending, and it leads to overspending and missed opportunities to save. If you're constantly asking yourself, where did all my money go? You're not alone. Many people are guilty of spending without a plan, only to wonder at the end of the month where their hard-earned cash disappeared to. The truth is, if you don't tell your money where to go, it will find a way to leave you, and fast. It's time to take control of your finances and track your spending. Start by simply writing down every single expense for a month. The key is to be consistent and honest with yourself about where your money is going. Once you have a month's worth of data, analyze your spending habits. Number 9. You're borrowing from friends and family. The moment you start asking for loans from people you know, it's clear something is broken in your financial plan. Asking friends or family for loans might feel like a quick fix, but it's a major sign you're in trouble. It means your income isn't enough to cover your expenses. Plus, borrowing from loved ones can strain relationships and create awkward situations when you're unable to pay them back on time. Listen, I understand that desperate times call for desperate measures. But borrowing money from friends and family can be a recipe for disaster. It can strain relationships, create resentment, and lead to uncomfortable situations down the road. Before you ask a loved one for a loan, consider all of your other options. Can you pick up a side hustle to earn extra income? Can you sell some of your belongings? Can you negotiate a payment plan with your creditors? If borrowing from a friend or family member is your only option, treat it like a business transaction. Create a written agreement outlining the loan amount, interest rate if any, and repayment terms. Number 10. You're avoiding your financial reality. If you're avoiding looking at your bank statements, refusing to open bills, or ignoring debt collectors, you're in trouble and you're in denial. This avoidance doesn't make the problem go away, it makes it worse. Facing your financial situation head-on is the first step to fixing it, but denial will only allow the debt and stress to grow. The longer you avoid your financial reality, the deeper you'll dig yourself into a hole. The first step to taking control of your finances is to face your fears and acknowledge your situation. This means opening those credit card statements, checking your bank balance, and confronting your debt head-on. Once you have a clear picture of your finances, you can start to develop a plan to get back on track. The key is to take action and start making positive changes today. If any of these hit home for you, it's time to face it and make changes. Financial trouble doesn't fix itself. You have to take control. These are all warning signs that you need to take a closer look at your finances and make changes before things spiral out of control. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these signs resonated with you the most? What steps are you going to take to turn your finances around? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and I will see you in my next video. Until next time, remember, you've got this.